Reveals your character. I mean, you go out, you can't like make up style. Your style comes out when you do it. And I think that those types of people just naturally kind of gravitate towards each other. And that's exactly what happened in this situation.
What's going on here today?
Z-Flex reunion.
Where does the name Z-Flex come from?
It came off of Zephyr.
Z-Flex started after we broke off.
Z-Flex started with Jay's dad, Kent. You know,
Right.
He was making the boards. That was it. It all started from Jay and Kent. And everybody else that was like part of that whole scene rode those boards because those were the boards.
Kent was like, I'm calling it Z whatever because it was kind of his baby.
Well, it was an extension of like where the whole Zephyr thing came from, and I think that it was cool that, you know, Kent was like still manufacturing the boards.
I guess we first made that Zephyr board, and then the second board we made was an Easy Rider. So these
This
were
one
the first
was the
ones.
first one.
First little Zephyrs.
Right.
Then we came out with the Z-Flex. We just
This one's
shortened it to Z-Flex. And this was a big board for the time.
It was like being on a second generation Zephyr team. Like same energy. Me, Tony J, Shogo. We were all still riding together.
We're still alive.
These are original.
Yeah, that's original, dude.
That's so killer.
How cool is that one? Sign this one for me. That one's going on my wall.
Here, look at the waves. Here's the waves this morning.
What's up, Pete?
Yeah.
When we were kids, we used to go to Santa Monica Civic and see the surf films because skating was all about surfing for us back in the time.
Back then, we always wanted to simulate like we were surfing, you know.
Right.
That was the whole thing. You didn't want to kook out. You always wanted to carve. You wanted to be fluid. You didn't want to have that kinky style that still a lot of skaters have.
The Z-Boys generation.
Welcome to our Mediterranean kitchen. Here we make our food from scratch with non-GMO ingredients.
Wanted to show us the way and show us, you know, where it came from, where the roots were. And a lot of the roots were from like surfing, mixing it with skating, throwing in style. You know, not just doing a trick for trick's sake, but doing it just for the style's sake, you know, for the feeling of it.
Because the surfers that we looked up to were guys that were from Venice and Santa Monica. But like when they went to a place like Malibu to surf, where it was all mellow, everything was supposed to be all groovy and stuff, it wasn't like that. They were aggressive, and we took that attitude right from the water to the streets.
Z-Flex was one of the only teams at the time that dealt with people like us.
It's hard to say. We were like the full, you know, terrorist outlaws. But to us, we were just hardcore skaters.
We were into the big, like, all going as a gang kind of posse going in and invading, like, different skate parks and stuff like that.
We're a little more rough and tough. Yeah, a little rowdier. And kind of like the movie Got It Right. It's like a hockey team.
Going to a figure skating competition. Perfect metaphor for, like, what happened, you know, when we showed up.
You know, I think the soul behind the team was that who we were as people. It just was a radical time. It was kind of a groundbreaking time in skateboarding.
Plumer was really, really good. He was gnarly. He used to go really fast and do the gnarliest carb grinds.
This is where I learned how to do the front side and back side air. It was right here at this bowl. And Sparky Gator carbs.
What is a Sparky Gator carb?
That would grind the coping so hard sparks would come off my trucks. The Edger that was my little masterpiece. Roll over the coping and then come back in. Like you said, you'd hang up a lot. But when you pulled them off, they were kind of sick, man. Back then, that was it. We were trying to do edgers or snappers, full bursts, extended bursts like that.
The day we graduated high school, the Kona Skate Park opened, and we all worked there.
We were like the park pros there, basically.
Me and George and Plumer won a bunch of money, and we joined Plumer to make sure all his stories were true, because he'd been telling us these stories about Jay and Tony that just sounded too unbelievable to be true. So we all came out to California that summer. Here's a bunch of Floridian surfers. The fact that we were surfers kind of got us in there. We got to skate the Dog Bowl with all the boys.
The Dog Bowl, I remember Tony took me there. And then it was just the Z-Boys. Just the elite got to skate that place.
So we basically rode it the last day it was ridden. Dino's mom came out like we were skating, and of course Tony was doing his bullshit. Come back the next day and it's got 3 feet of water and it's being filled up.
Are you the culprit? Yeah. Now let's cross out my name and put his model in there. That's a J maneuver. It's a J Adams / Plumer model.
Think we'd be here doing this 30 damn years later?